Cosmic blessings, everyone. This is Jeremy, and this video I'm going to talk about a good story of how I really got started into crystals before I started my spiritual path. And this goes way back. So like I'm talking about 2004, 2005, um, even longer, maybe 2003. So okay, crystals. If I could remember, I think it has to be, opening the science textbook or the science books that we had in elementary, and then when you would go to like the minerals page, and then and I remember, I think I saw a picture of a beautiful clear quartz crystal, and I was just so mesmerized by the beauty, the clearness of the crystals, and I'm just amazed how something from the earth created that pretty rock. Um, and I think when I went to Valley Days, which is like about the pioneers, and that was in the third grade. I remember going to the gift shop and then just seeing like they would have like those barrels of gemstones, and then you just pick some and put in a bag. And I think I remember seeing crystals on the shelves, and I was just dying just to to really touch them. But I was like under 5 feet. I was like 4'3" or something. I was a really short kid in the third grade. And because my parents, they never gave me money when I would go to like those kind of field trips, because like I'm already under the care of the teachers and the chaperones, and the school already provided our lunches, and if I were to get lunch by myself, my mom would make it. But my parents really, like, they never gave me like either $5 or more, because when I was a kid I would think like, I think $1 was the most I've ever gotten, and I always cherished that dollar. And anything, I thought $100 used to be like would make you rich and all that. So I didn't have money, to buy those crystals when I was younger, and I would I really want to dig. I would like try to find my own in my backyard, and treat these little rocks, common rocks you find when you dig on the ground, as like animal fossils and something magical and all that. And it was until I think 2 years later, when my youngest sister got to go to the field trip. I was in the fifth grade, I think. Yes, in the fifth grade, and then she came home with these gemstones, and this is a rose quartz. This is a pink agate. This one is a different story. A clear quartz point, and I don't think this is a rose quartz because it looks very, very pink. It could be like a dyed crystal, and a clear quartz. And there's an amethyst, but it's in a charm bag, a love charm bag that I made. But for example, let's just use this amethyst. Well, I'm gonna begin with the tiger's eye. It was my cousin. When she slept over, she had those crystal cages that it's like a little spiral cage where you put some gemstones inside there and you could like wear it. It was in there, and this is tiger's eye. And then when she left, she kind of like left it behind, and I took this out of the little cage, and I thought, wow, this is like so pretty. Like I knew it was like a gemstone, but I wasn't really crazy about tiger's eye. But I knew these kind of minerals had special properties. And going back to these actually belong to my little sister. And let's pretend this amethyst was actually one of the amethysts, but it's in a charm bag somewhere, and I cannot find. When she came home with these, I was like super jealous. I wanted to play with them. I wanted them to be my own, because like little girls just see them as just like pretty rocks. Like you're just gonna keep them sorted when you're older because you don't really care about them. But for a person like me, I was really in touch with like the metaphysical side of life without even knowing it. I would say when I was younger, it was called the magical side of life. So I knew these gemstones contain magical properties, magical or metaphysical properties, and I was just mesmerized even by the amethyst, the pretty purpleness. I wasn't crazy about these pink ones. I was more crazy about clear quartz point, and this amethyst. And I remember putting this, not this, the amethyst somewhere out there, but the amethyst onto my third eye, and I would think it looks so cool to kind of like to actually wear this throughout my whole days to have like a because I would see Indians wearing the bindis, and I thought that was like really cool, and like it would be like just right there on your third eye, and I thought it would look cool, and I wanted to like to glue it onto my third eye and just like keep it there. And it also kind of goes back to one of my favorite television shows when I was a kid. It was Teen Titans, and my favorite character was Raven, and she had like a bindi or some sort of gemstone on her forehead, and then she would say like Azeroth, Metreon, Zinthos, and all that. But the amethyst also goes back to how I made my first gem elixir without even knowing it, what it was called. I just knew that putting crystals in water looks really magical, and holding it against the moonlight in your parents' wine glass looks like, extra magical. Like, it was like the most prettiest thing I ever saw or ever created, because it's something my inner spirit, my higher self sort of manifests through this 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old boy. So how I made that elixir is when my cousin, the sister of who owned this Tiger's Eye, I haven't given it back to them. Maybe I should. It's been so many years. She would come over our house. It was like during Fridays, and then we would play at night while my parents are asleep, or maybe they went to work. It's probably because they were sleeping. We were like just wide awake, and the moon will be sort of full, but it casts a lot of moonlight, and we would do moon dances, and then I would create a cloak out of like beach towels, and we would like be these pagans, and or like these I was a pagan without even knowing it, and we would sort of like play around, be all mystical and all that. And then I went on my parents' balcony. I took one of their wine glasses from the kitchen. I went upstairs to the balcony where I could see, the full picture of the full moon, and where the moonlight really casts its silver light onto the back of the house. So I was on the balcony. I dropped the amethyst in the water, and I kind of like raised the cup and to the moon because I knew something magical was happening, and I consumed it, and then I just remember the taste because it's like amethyst water has sort of that metallic taste to it. It's different crystals create different tastes onto water, and then I drank some of that, but I didn't drink all of it, and I poured the rest down the balcony, and then down the balcony are like 4 rose bushes. I think it was 2 or 4 rose bushes, and I just pour the rest, and to me that's giving back to the earth, or giving like gem water that was charged by moonlight, giving it back to the earth. And there's roses down below because we had a lot of roses, and losing my train of thought. So it goes back to that, and another story is when one of my youngest sisters, childhood friends, she would come back from her grandparents' place, and then she would always bring back this pretty crystal. It was like a rock that had like quartz crystals on it. It was like the Matrix, but it wasn't like an extravagant clear quartz, but um, I wanted to take that crystal away from her because I knew it was mine, but I didn't because stealing was bad and you're not supposed to steal from your neighbors. And she would keep it by the boat and just leave it there, and I just I felt bad for the crystal, and I remember seeing like some nail polish on it, and remember there were little kids, there were little girls, so make it pretty as it can be. And I always wonder what happened to that crystal to this day, and it always memorized me because I would tell her, I would tell her because I knew the girl, like, oh, when you come back to your grandparents' place, bring me a crystal, because I was just so mesmerized by crystals and how it really has impacted me until I got older and began collecting crystals, and they have been a huge part of my life. And this clear quartz, I just knew there was something magical about it. And clear quartz and amethyst are one of my favorite crystals. So I guess that's the story about how I got into crystals without crystal healing without even knowing it was called. I just followed the metaphysical aspects of life, or during childhood you kind of let your imagination be your reality. So thank you guys for watching, and until next time, namaste.